Hi everyone, welcome to Colette's Thermomix Kitchen. My name is Collette Mitrega. I'm a Thermomix Consultant here in Australia, and today what I want to do is to step outside of the wonderful world of cookie dough. And let's face it, cookie dough is so amazing. With over 100,000 of meal choices, you can filter down, you can take account of your allergies, things you don't like, save them into your own recipe list. It's just an amazing thing, and really it goes hand in hand with your Thermomix. But today I want to step outside of that, and I just want to cook Andrew and I a nice healthy dinner that's low carb, low calorie, and I just basically kind of gone into the fridge and cupboard and just taken out some bits and pieces. I have a pretty well stocked fridge and pantry, as you can probably guess, but you know, you can go and use those leftovers and create using this in a manual way, just like you would use pots and pans. But of course, you don't have all those to wash up afterwards. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I've decided to make a curry. We love our curries, and you know, I've got always things on hand to make curries with. So that's what I'm going to do, but just manually, not following a recipe. Now the first step that I want to do is, in here I have literally got just some cucumber, some onions, and some a bit of chilli and some coriander, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of apple cider vinegar on there, not a lot, just a little bit, and I'm going to put a squeeze of lime, and of course some salt and pepper.
Hello back to everyone all over Australia, wherever you are.
Salt, a little bit of pepper.
Hi Izzy in Harvey Bay.
And what am I missing? I'm missing oil. So I'm just going to, where's my oil gone?
In this house we just love curries.
We do. And just a little bit of oil just to kind of bind that all together. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix those up. So literally, it's a simple little kind of a pickly side that I'm going to have on the side, because I think something like this will be absolutely lovely. You can do a beautiful raita or anything like that. Actually, I've got mint. I should have done a raita, but never mind, raita. So I'm just going to park that to one side and let those flavours pull out all the onion juices, the cucumber juices, and that's going to be delicious as a side to our curry. So let's put that over here so we don't forget. All right, now with this dish, what I need to think about is the dish in a whole. So I'm going to do prawns, because prawns are really quick and it's great for alive, versus chicken, which will take more than twice as long to cook. So I'm going to do prawns, and I'm going to serve it with cauliflower rice today, because cauliflower rice, as you all know, is low carb, pretty low calories, and it's really delicious. We love it in this house, don't we, Andrew?
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Andrew, he's converted. Yay!
It's a great option to rice, and it's actually probably even tastier.
Yeah, and definitely more nutritious for you. And at the moment, you're going to get a big cauliflower for about $3 in the shop, so really good time. And you might even want to think about making up cauliflower, open freezing it and pop it into a bag so it's ready to go for when those cauliflowers start to go up. So I'm popping this cauliflower into here, and as much or as little as you think you might want. And I now need to chop that, because cauliflower rice is basically a chopped rice, and all I need to do now is go into manual mode, because I'm cooking manually in my Thermomix. Now on my TM7 we can customize the screen here. So I've actually got, as my main modes that I use, I have these up here, and I've got open cooking, browning, manual cooking, and steaming. Those are the ones that I kind of use the most. So I love having those there, but you've got so much to choose from. You know, if you want to put egg boiler there because you love boiling your eggs every morning, you can definitely do that just for a quick in, so to speak. And you don't want to put your pre-clean here. And it's interesting, 75% of people who answered this survey said the cleaning mode in the TM6 and TM7 was their most favorite mode. It's a brilliant mode. Because if you just pull down the screen, you've got instant access here to your cleaning mode. So that's really cool, just there. Okay, so I'm now going to go into manual cooking, and I want to chop this cauliflower down, and I'm not sure. Yeah, so cauliflower rice, I'm going to chop this on, and I'm going to go for actually I'm not going to go for any minutes, I'm going to go for 5 seconds, and I'm going to go at speed number 5. Do 4 and 1 more. Alright, so 5 seconds at speed 5. Now, this is where I mentioned, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday, grab yourself a nice little notebook, a nice little green one so you associate that to your Thermomix notebook. Write in there cauliflower rice, 5 seconds, speed 5. And when you next cook a recipe in Cookie Do, look at those little things that you might use in a manual situation. So next time you go to make cauliflower rice, you've already got that down packed. So I'm just going to press start. Okay.
So Elaine asks, how do you customise the screen? I think that'll be something that Collette will get back to you about separately.
So Elaine, I'm not sure whether you're one of my customers, but if you are one of my customers, on our Thermomix journey, as soon as your order goes through, and Leanne, thank you for your surprise order this morning. It's always wonderful getting up to a surprise order. Yay! You're going to love the TM7. It's incredible. So as soon as someone orders, I send them an email, and in that email there's a video, quite a detailed, long video that I've gone step by step by step. Little chapters are identified, and in there you'll be able to go to like customization, and it shows you, or troubleshooting, or whatever it is that you want. But if I'm not your consultant, reach out to your consultant, and I'm sure they would be able to tell you. So there we go, beautifully done. That's the cauliflower rice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop this into a bowl. Just scraping all this down. It's quite a generous amount there. So at this stage, what you could do is open freeze this. So put it on a big tray, fairly, shallow freeze, and then just freeze all of this. And then once it's frozen, after about maybe 2 hours, then just break it all up and pop it into bags so you can take out as much as you want. I love my freezer. I love using my freezer for all sorts of things. All right, I want to try and get most of this out because I don't want to have to wash my bowl. So look, there's bits in there, but that's okay. We're doing a curry, so that's not going to be too bad. Now, with cauliflower rice, you can just leave it like this. But what I like to do is I like to introduce a few more flavours. Gosh, that's quite a lot of cauliflower rice. But anyhow, I'm going to introduce some shredded coconut and some cumin seeds. And that's just going to give this a little bit more interest. I should probably take some of this out because I don't think I need all of this to cook today. And I'll put that into the freezer for another day. It's way too much. Okay, that's probably about right. Alright, so I've got in there the shredded coconut and the cumin seeds, and of course you've got to season it, you've got to add seasoning to everything, and you've got to season as you go, really important. So lots of pepper, lots of salt, and then just mixing all that nicely through. And then there's one more thing that I'm going to add into this, and I'm going to pop that on the top. Now, with the cauliflower rice, I'm going to steam this as the curry's cooking. Now, it's not a big quantity, so I'm going to steam it in the simmering basket rather than in the varoma. But if you're doing a big family portion, you'd put that on the varoma tray. And remember the golden rule when you are cooking or steaming in the varoma, you must leave space for the steam to gather around the food so it actually cooks evenly. So I'm still going to follow that kind of little rule here. I'm just going to loop, but it doesn't really matter because you've got all these holes around the side. Now onto that, I'm going to add a little bit of oil, and I need some oil to use in here. So I'm thinking there's so many different oils that we can have. So if I head to my oil, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Pepper. I'm going to head to my oils. and I am going to, so I could choose my beautiful ghee. Now, the weather's warming up here, so this ghee I made probably about a month ago, and it's still beautiful. It smells so buttery and delicious. I could absolutely use that, but because the weather's warming up, I'm just going to pop that now into the fridge. Well, I will do afterwards, because it's getting a bit hot and that's going to start to make this go rancid. All right, but I think today I'm going to go for coconut oil, because healthier option, and it's quite nice, and we're using coconut in here. So just some coconut oil, and I'm going to get about a teaspoon, and this is just going to ump up that flavour of this cauliflower rice. It's just going to give it another bit of an element. So we've taken the humble cauliflower and flavoured it up with some coconut and some cumin seeds and some coconut. Oh, so let's pop that to one side, and now we'll pop that to one side until I'm ready for that. Just give this bench a quick wipe down. Any questions, Andrew, so far? Nope. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not going to wash my bowl. It's okay, because that flavour that's in there of the cauliflower is not going to impact too much on what happens next. All right, so I'm going to go back home. And now I'm doing an Indian dish. So the very first step in creating any dish is to get those base aromats out of the way. So for an Indian dish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add into the bowl an onion, bit of chili, some ginger and some garlic. Classics. Now you can turn this into any kind of curry at all. All right, and that's all good. And then what I want to do is to add some oil, and I'm going to go back to that beautiful coconut oil. And you'll notice I'm adding the oil, so about a teaspoon will be fine. Maybe a little bit more. And what I'm now going to do is just to chop that down. And I like to add the oil when I am at this stage, because it covers all of the bits of the mix that's in there, and it then just kind of sautés off really, really nicely. So let's get going with that. So now, on your TM6 and TM7, you've got this incredible feature in your modes. And definitely, I love, love, love this feature when you're doing your manual cooking, and I use it a lot. So let's head into our modes. And it's this area here. It's this chop function. So I've got onions in there, so I'm going to go to fruit and vegetables. Can you see that all right on the screen, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to head down to onions. There we go, onions. And I want to chop the onions. And I've got probably, I haven't got a lot in there, so I've got the size there, all right, and then I have already added those, so we'll just tar that, weighing, okay, done, click on that, and it should go for me. This mode is unavailable whilst Thermomix is running. It thinks it's running, because I cut it short, so I'm going to stop that. The little square will stop that problem. Let's go back to manual mode. Here I am now, and off we go. So 5 seconds, quite simply, actually I'm going to go 3 seconds. No, it's telling me 5 seconds at speed 5, which will be perfect. So it's programmed it in for me.
So Joe asks, is that spatula available in the mix shop?
Not to buy yet, it's one that comes with the Thermomix. And I know quite a few people have got little slits down their spatula, and this here is soft, and that's what makes it really great for getting stuff out of the bowl. But if you go backwards, it's going to hit the sharp side of the blade and you're going to cut into it. So just be careful on that one, but I reckon this is the best spatula they've had out. It really is great. Okay, so let's go back now, because our onions, yep, that's chopped perfectly. So use that chop function, look at it. So whether it's apples you want to chop, asparagus, whatever it is, it will guide you to the time and speed, and that's a really cool thing. And for the ones that you use most, you could actually use your little notebook, so whatever you want to do. Now, the next thing is, we've got those aromats. Now, if we were creating a Western dish, Andrew, what would be the aromats I'd put in there for a Western dish versus an Indian dish?
Garlic?
Possibly.
Oxo cubes?
No. I would be starting off with onion, carrot, celery.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Those are the classics for your Western dishes. So the same process. And then you can make beautiful mushroom creamy sauce, chicken, all that kind of stuff. But we're doing Indian, so we started off with those Indian kind of bases. Okay, now I'm going to go home now. So the next thing is I want to saute this. So if you've got the TM6, your standard saute is usually, let's say 3 minutes at 120 degrees, and you can do speed 2 on reverse or forward if you wanted to continue chopping. With the TM7, you've got incredible options when you come to browning. So I'm going to go into my browning mode. And with the TM7, what you can do, I love the fact that now I'm not told what to do if I want to go above that 120. So we've got gentle and we've got intense. Gentle is going to give you a softer kind of a saute without that caramelization, and intense is going to give you that kind of caramelization. So I did a little tester just to show you the difference. So just literally half a small onion. Can you see those okay, Andrew? Half a small onion. So you see this one is much whiter, and this one is much more caramelized. Intense, gentle. All right, and both of these were done at 160 degrees for 5 minutes. So you can pick and you can choose how you want that cooked. Now I'm going to go, because I want this a bit caramelized, a bit gnarly, that's going to be good and add any flavor. I'm going to go to intense. Now if I wasn't doing a live, I would probably go for about 7 minutes. I would go longer, because it's going to get more caramelized, almost kind of a bit burnty on some edges, and it's going to be delicious. But for now, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to do 3 minutes, which is your standard saute, and that's going to be okay. All right, so 3 minutes. I'm going to go for intense, and with the TM7, you can bring that temperature down. You can choose 140 degrees if you want to, but I want to go right to the top, and I want to go to intense. Great, off we go. Did I scrape the side down? Great thing with the TM7, you can just take the lid off. No, I didn't. So you want to scrape the side down. I didn't think I did. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be great. All right. So 3 minutes is just going to soften them up. All right, and then that's fine. And now we're just continuing to cook it. So quiet, you never know. So just looking at the digits. You never... So 3 minutes, it's not going to get really caramelized for me, but that's okay because we're working live and we're just kind of doing a bit of a shortcut. All right. So, excellent. Now, one of the questions that I was asked in the live comments, a couple of people struggled when they were in a recipe and they went off to different places, how to get back to the recipe. All you need to do is click up here and it will take you right back to the step that you're in. So you can go off, you can explore Cookie Doo and all your recipe lists, you know, etc. And I love the fact, did you notice that now you can actually save recipes from Cookie Doo to your collection from your Thermomix? And I love that. It's such a great feature. So as you're browsing, you can actually look at all that. And then, you know, once you've done all of that, again, just clicking up there takes you back to the step that you're currently in. Now, I'm going to take my lid off. You don't need to. They recommend this doesn't come off. But what I like to do is get rid of any kind of moisture that might be coming out. So it's just going to intensify that saute. Now, give me a thumbs up, guys. Are you kind of learning a few bits and pieces here? Are you having little thoughts as I'm going along? hopefully I'm kind of triggering how easy it is for you to cook. So exactly the same as if you would be doing this in a fry pan. Yeah, you'd be chopping up all those veggies, you'd put them into a fry pan with your oil, and you'd be standing at that fry pan for about 3 minutes, or ideally longer, sautéing and moving around so they don't actually burn. So with this one here, the Thermomix is going around and it's looking after that for me. Excellent. I'm just going to get a drink of water. I'll be back in a second.
And we're having a short interlude. And we have session 2.
So we've got 23 seconds to go. Oh, it smells good.
Isa asks, have you ever caramelized cooked pumpkin cubes?
No, I haven't. And the reason, if you're going to do that, you want to make sure that they're not too soft. You know, when the pumpkin gets soft, and what happens is it's just going to end up mushy. So I would probably steam the pumpkin and then throw it in the oven. And that way you're going to maintain that shape a little bit better.
So Lynn says she's writing it all down. That's good because we're going to test you later.
Excellent. Thank you, Lynn. Yay. Okay, so that's good. So I've done that. So just having a little look there. That's perfect. So you can see now they've all kind of broken down and they're looking smelling.
And smell beautiful.
Yeah. Now, the next thing, so we've got that base of aromats done. So Western, carrot, onion and
Celery.
Celery, he's listening. And Indian type curries, we've got onion,
Chili.
ginger, garlic. Okay, so
Oxo cubes.
and then we actually saute those down. So the next thing we need to do, we need to import the spices. We need to get the spices done. Now you could go ahead and you could just put some curry powder in here. That would be fine. But I'm heading to my freezer. I always have a couple of different spice. I've got green curry paste, red curry paste, yellow curry paste, and tandoori, and a vindaloo kind of paste in my freezer all the time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to whip some of this out. Yes, I know it's frozen. That's okay. And I have them. I keep them in cubes. I freeze them that way. Thermomix in the mix shop will be bringing out something like those super cubes that I mentioned to you, which is going to be fabulous. And I reckon I've got a little bit of a half bar there, but I can cut off whatever I want. That's going to be fantastic. So this is the tandoori paste. If you haven't made this yet, please make it. I usually do a big double batch and then freeze it up. I use this. The most simplest thing to do is to get your chicken legs, this and yogurt, marinade, and then cook them on the barbecue or in the oven. Absolutely delicious. So that's going to go in. So that takes care of those spices, because in there we've got a ton of different spices. So now just sealing my bag up. This is one of the vacuum seal bags from the mix shop. Just making sure that's all sealed up. Okay, my little wand. Suck the air out. And now, you know, that's going to go back in the freezer. It's not going to get freezer burn. It's all de-aired, and that's going to be fabulous. Got a few curry leaves, so they will be delicious as well. So let's put some curry leaves in here. Yum. Okay, and exactly the same. Closing up. Oh, I love the smell of curry leaves. Andy usually leaves them to one side.
I do.
Okay.
They're green. Those ones are brilliant.
Only if you close it up properly, which I haven't done.
But with the containers, I mean, we keep cheese and ham and bacon. it lasts for at least an extra week, at least.
A lot longer, yeah. You get a little runner that goes with the bags, and that's going to help you close it up properly. Okay. Okay, nearly done. Okay, so that's done, back in the freezer. And on with the recipe. So just to recap, we've got those base aromats, the onion, garlic, chili, ginger. I've now added in that paste, and I've added in the some curry leaves because I just discovered them in there. And what I want to do now is just cook that through for a couple of minutes. So here I am. I want to come out of browning. I'm going to go home into manual cooking, just basic cooking here. So it always defaults here. So I just want to do 2 minutes. That will be plenty. 1, 2. And temperature-wise, you know, actually I might do 3 minutes, but temperature-wise, about 100 degrees, that's fine. 105 will be fine. 100 degrees. And speed, I'm happy for it to continue to chop, so I'm going to leave the blade going forward. And speed, I think I'm just going to go at speed number 2, because I have got that big block of paste in there. Now, at this stage, what you can do is you can just head back and change it. So if I want to go an extra minute, I'm just going to +1. Okay, so you can easily decrease the timings. And of course with the TM6, you'll do that with your selector button. And of course with the TM6, you've got the 3 dials, so you just move the selector dial to the one that you want, time, temperature, speed. So exactly the same kind of principle here. Oh, smell that curry. Now it's not going to totally break down that tandoori paste just yet. If I was here home alone, I'd probably go for about 4 minutes. And because the idea is you want the curries to actually cook out a little bit, and I'd want that paste to cook out a little bit. So we're having a few shortcuts in this one today.
Will you be posting this recipe?
No, because it's just a make-up recipe.
Another question here: where do you get your curry leaves from?
I have a lovely friend, Margaret, and she has an amazing big curry leaf, a curry tree in her garden, and she keeps me supplied. And I have to say, those ones have been in my freezer for about 6 months, and I still open that pack and I get that waft of that curry leaf flavour, which is amazing. It doesn't matter if you don't have them, but if you can find some, and often in these kind of markets you'll find curry leaves. Just buy them and do what I do, pop them into the vacuum seal bags, freeze them up, and then just take them out when you want them. I like to cook a lot of Singapore curries, like the Nonya curries, and one of Andrew's favourite is like a chicken leg curry that I make for him. And I put in there those curry leaves. Andrew usually leaves them to the side, but they do add in a lot of flavour.
Is the tandoori paste in your blog, or is it?
It's on Cookie Dough. So the tandoori paste is on Cookie Dough. Please make it, and then once you make something like that, you want to use it. And remember, the way that you can find out things to make is in the search bar on Cookie Dough. Just type tandoori paste. You'll find the paste, but you'll find other dishes that use that paste in it. So really good from that perspective. But it is a really great curry paste, I have to say. So 35 seconds to go. Okay. The next step we're going to do is add our liquid. So if you're going back, this is Indian, so if I was cooking a Western style dish, instead of the paste, Andrew, what could I add? Oxo cubes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you could add in oxo cubes or chicken stock cubes or whatever flavour base, tomato paste. You know, you could add in those kind of flavours for that kind of an area. Okay, so that's done. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to add in the, so looking beautiful, it's going to be delicious. I'm going to add in the coconut milk. So I'm just guesstimating. I'm not running on anything. What looks about right is going to be good. So I'd imagine maybe about 200. We like it kind of
creamy.
And we like the sauce. Oh,
We had this last week and it is really good.
Yeah, we had a version of this, didn't we? Okay. And then, of course, I just want to taste that now. First taste. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Definitely needs salt. And of course, when we put salt in, we put pepper in. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Now, the other thing I'm going to pop in now is I've got some little tomatoes. I've got some tomatoes in the fridge I have to use up. So I'm just going to throw these in. You could put tomato paste in with the curry paste earlier on if you wanted to. That's absolutely fine. So once I've done that, I'm now going to pop the lid on. But before I do that, I've got that there. I'm going to pop in my cauliflower rice.
You want to try it?
What's that?
Sample your sauce?
You want to sample again?
Oh, did you do it again already? Sorry, I missed that.
Well, I should really sample once I've seasoned, but I know it's going to be good. What a difference a bit of salt makes, seriously guys. Okay, in goes the cauliflower rice. So the curry's cooking, the cauliflower rice is now going to be steaming. So I'm going to pop that lid back on. And now I am going to go for, look, I should be going for probably about 10 minutes. But I'm going to go for, let's go as low as I can. Let's go to maybe 7 minutes. And again, temperature I want to go, I'm just going to put 100 degrees, which is boiling. Put that down there. And speed, I just want on reverse, because I don't want now things chopped up. I'm going to go speed 1 and off we go.
So when do the prawns go in?
They're going to go in at the end, because prawns just literally take minutes. I'm glad you asked that, because if you were doing this as a chicken dish, this is the stage that I'd be putting in my sliced or cubed chicken, because chicken will need about 12, 13 minutes to cook in a sauce, and that's when you need to kind of introduce that. But I don't need to do that just yet. So, I mean, I am cutting the time wise. I would like to go for 10 minutes here. And what will happen, I am going to take the lid off, because that's going to allow any steam to come off. You don't need to, because we've got the little side vents, but I quite like to have that little bit more coming out. So that's cooking. We've got our lovely salad on the side. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, Sandra asked, what sort of fridge do you have?
Oh, Andrew chose the fridge.
It's a good one. It's a Samsung French-style door. It's about 650 litres, so it's reasonally large.
Yeah,
and
it's black.
It's got 4 doors, and it's black, yeah. And I think it's brilliant. It's good.
I said, Andrew, for the house, he could choose 3 things for the house. The laundry, the washing machine, the dishwasher, and the fridge.
Rubbish, you didn't say that.
And he chose
we chose everything.
Black. My only criteria for my fridge was it needs organisation, it needs drawers, and it needs to be big. So that was my criteria.
I couldn't choose the fridge. That's well above my pay grade.
Yeah, but you chose the black. I would have chosen
black. Black was good in there.
Okay,
just coordinates lovely against all the white.
Anyhow, yes, so it's a big fridge.
Big fridge freezer.
It's a big freezer. The freezer's on the bottom, and it's great because you can have an extra freezer section or a less, and there's a defrost section, and easy to get my trays in for open freezing, which I do a lot of.
But we do have another fridge freezer in the garage.
Yeah, mainly for drinks and for...
No, it's not.
And for, the bottom is for meats, which you don't have a lot of meats. Now, while we're just waiting there, this morning, when I was just wiping down the sides, I noticed I've got this parsley here. This guy needs to be used up. So what I was thinking I'll do afterwards is I will make a parsley oil out of this, and that's a beautiful thing just to add on to all sorts of dishes. Put some on top of some pasta dishes, on top of some roast dishes. It's a lovely, lovely thing. And all you do to make a parsley oil is, what I like to do is to boil the water and then literally blanch these. So I'm going to take off most of the harder parsley leaves, but the smaller delicate stems, but the smaller delicate ones are absolutely fine to use. And I'm going to blanch it in the boiling water for literally a minute, and then I'm going to put that into iced water straight away. That process will give me a really beautiful green parsley oil rather than a kind of insipid looking one.
Are these from your garden?
Yes. And then the next thing that I will do, it's not necessary, but what I like to do then is I'll dry this off and then pop it into the Thermomix. So for this amount, I'd probably use about 70 grams of oil, grapeseed oil or a really light olive oil, something that's not too strong in taste, because that's what your parsley oil would taste of as well.
And what do you use parsley oil for?
I just said, Andy.
Did you? Okay, sorry.
So you use parsley oil, you can just put an extra flavour and it looks beautiful in presentation. So on top of some pasta dishes, on top of some roast dishes, just little dots on a plate, it's just a beautiful thing. So once I have done that, I will pop it into here once it's been washed, blanched and dried and into cold water with about, I'd say probably maybe even probably about 70 grams of oil in this case. And whiz it up, blend it all up together. And then what I like to do is I just like to take it one little step further, and I will probably heat that up at about 70 degrees, so not boiling hot, just warm, in the oil for about 4 minutes. And that just really brings that colour even more alive. And then I will strain that through a cheesecloth. And now you can pop that into a little bottle in the fridge. It will last about a week. But you can freeze it in your little ice cube tubs and it freezes beautifully. So it's a great thing to do if you've got leftover parsley. Now, I know I've probably lost a few of you with that. Please put in the comments if you would like me to write the recipe out for you. Drink again, thirsty.
So anyone watching the Broncos match this afternoon? Anyone going to the match? This is why this live is at 2 p.m, because at 4 p.m. we'll be watching TV.
2 p.m. is a good time. So I'm just going to take the lid off and let me have a little look at what's going on. Cauliflower rice is in here. Okay, yeah, that's looking so delicious. I'm going to put another hit of chili in here. Most of the chili flakes will be fine. I think it needs a little bit more of a kick. Perfection, so off we go. And while I'm here, I'm just going to give my beautiful cauliflower rice a bit of a stir. And that's going to be great.
Yeah, lots of yes pleases to the parsley recipe.
Okay, I'll put that up later on today. Put this on. Okay. And off we go. So it's continuing now. So with the TM7, you know, if you do take the lid off, everything stops. When you put the lid back on, it just continues from where it left off. So how easy is it so far to do just manual cooking? Just doing your own thing. So if you've got a favourite recipe that you love, you can absolutely do that and convert it for your TM6 or TM7. And where I'd say is the start point, go into Cookie Doo and find a similar recipe and you can use that as a guide. Or think about how you made that recipe. So if you were boiling something, would you be boiling it really high, 100 degrees, or would you be boiling it lower, 60 degrees? Or would you have the lid on, or would you be letting the steam come out? So just thinking about those things, and you do the same in a manual way. Hope that makes sense. But once you start doing that, it just gives you confidence around your Thermomix. You can just throw things in and create all sorts. Okay, so on our Cheats shortened down version, we've got about 35 seconds left.
So Sue asked, could you change the parsley and use basil instead?
Yeah, you can do a combination of herbs, which is beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So whatever herbs you have left over, you can just create the oil, use the same process. And parsley oil is, and most oils like parsley and dill and that, just beautiful with fish. You know, just squeeze them over the top of fish. It looks beautiful and it just adds that. So this is repeating on the phone, because the wonderful thing now is if I'm in my study and something's cooking in my Thermomix, my phone automatically tells me via cookie-doo when it's finished how much time I've got left, and I love that feature. It's so, so cool. All right, so let's have a little look where we're at. So just to show you what a beautiful base this is looking like. And if you wanted, you could squeeze in tomato paste, all that kind of stuff. But now I've just got some leftover prawns that we had from the other day, so I've got probably around about 200, I reckon. As I said, if you were doing chicken, you would do that at the earlier on stage because it takes longer to cook. So the prawns have just gone in. If it was looking too thick, I would add in a bit of water, but I don't need to. That's all looking beautiful. Now, prawns don't take long to cook at all. In fact, I'm just going to go for 3 minutes here. And temperature-wise, again, I'm just going to go up to 100. And I want it on reverse. And speed, again, let's just go speed 1.5. That's 4. Yep, that's speed 1 is fine. So, oh, needless to go.
Is the phone feature available on the TM6?
I think it is. I'm not 100% sure actually. Maybe somebody else can answer that. I'm not sure. The other thing I'm not quite sure about with the TM7, and I love this again, I think it's available on the 6th, but I'm not 100% sure. So if I go in, if I just choose carrots, for example, I've got the option to either chop them or steam them. So it calculates all the steaming time and what I need to do, how much water I need to put in. Is that a feature on the TM6? I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. Maybe you can let me know. But I know the chopping one is definitely a feature on the TM6. So there's all sorts of things happening all the time, and that's always really, really good. So here, going back at a glance, you know, it's just telling us we've got 2 minutes, 8 seconds to go. Now I'm just going to grab, I think, just to add a little bit more sourness to this, I'm going to add a little bit of yogurt.
Or even a yogurt?
And I actually have bought yogurt, which I haven't bought for such a long time. It's so interesting when you read labels. Anyhow, so I'm going to have that ready. I'm going to use a little bit of yogurt, and that's just going to balance these flavours beautifully. We're nearly there, guys. Another couple of minutes and we will be done.
So the next few months, you shouldn't see Collette wearing any more glasses. She has a first appointment with the orthologist on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he says.
That would be
But
so
the objective
great.
is to exchange both lenses.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, hey? Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. Andrew, it's been so successful for Andrew. He never wears his glasses, and I just hate putting them on, putting them off. You know. I'm sure we all do. Nearly there. Now the prawns we're only going for like 3 minutes, but that's not going to be quite enough. We need to do 2 more minutes after this, and then the curry's going to be ready. Oh, it smells good. And I've got a little bit of spinach to pop in there as well, just a handful of spinach. You could add, if you're adding some snow peas or something like that, you would put those in earlier with the prawns, but the spinach literally will wilt in a couple of minutes, and that will be exactly what we want. Beautiful. Alright, so the lid's coming off. Taking this out again. So now I am going to, oh, it's looking beautiful. Last thing, I'm just going to go literally for probably next to no time, because those prawns are virtually done now.
Question, can you use the Thermomix to deep fry?
No, you can't, because it doesn't get hot enough. Because when you think, if you're deep frying chips, you want to be at about 180 degrees, and you can get up to 160, but it's not, and it's the same with popcorn. I wish it could make popcorn, because I love popcorn, but I can't, so...
I can vouch for that, she does.
I do. So I've got the spinach in. I'm just going to put a nice tablespoon of that yogurt in, and that's going to be lovely. I'm just going to just put that little squeeze of lime in as well that I had left over, and a quick last minute taste. Such a lovely curry.
So Julie asked, can you use high heat without using a recipe from Cookie Do?
On the TM6 or the TM5?
TM7.
So on the TM7, yes you can. So with the TM7, you've got those options. Go to browning, which is lovely. So look, I'm just now going to take this out, and I'm just going to pop this off. Pop that to one side. And I'm just going to now go back home. And I'm going to go into open cooking so I can just now finish this off. And I'm just going to put the time down. Literally, I'm going to put 1 minute down. And no, not 1 hour. Sorry, 1 minute. That's fine. No minutes. Okay. I just want seconds. All right, let's just do that. I'm just going to go. I've got time in there, which is what I want for it to actually operate. So what's happening now, it's not stirring, but I can keep an eye now on the last stage of this, which is what I always do. Cookie Do or not Cookie Do, I switch into the open cooking mode. Now, of course, with the 6, you can't do this bit, but you can just, you could just stop. But I would say no more than 2 minutes just to wilt down that beautiful spinach, and just to finish it off. Now those prawns are virtually cooked, so that's going to be amazing. Now I'm just going to grab my plate because we're going to be ready to serve up, and a spoon. And then on this plate, if Andrew is here, I'll get him to show you how this is all bubbling away in here.
Oh, I'm back, sorry.
You're back. So just a nice little bit of that cauliflower rice, and remember we had the additions in there, just to make that absolutely lovely, with the coconut and the cumin seeds and a little bit of coconut oil.
Do you want the camera on there?
To see the camera, so you can just see how it's bubbling. And
sure, I can do anything.
I know. It's just like in a pan. It's just bubbling away, so you can see it's reducing. You can keep an eye on it. So now that spinach is wilted, I'm going to stop it. This bad boy now is ready for serving. These spoons, I believe, are back in stock. They are brilliant in the mix shop. Nice and narrow to get between the blades, nice and deep, so they act as the perfect ladle. So here we go. Let's just get this all up. Try not to make too much of a mess. And what a delicious, sorry, this is going to be. So it is low carb, it is low calorie, and all those different kinds of things.
Tracy agrees. She said the best thing she ever did was get her eyes done. What sort of lenses did you have, Tracy?
And then on the side, I'm just going to pop down this lovely salad, which is going to be beautifully kind of pickled and seasoned. And then, of course, we always need sprinkles on dishes, don't we? Sprinkles make things look really pretty. A little squeeze of lemon in case anybody wants that. And then just over, so this is coriander I'm sprinkling on top. Now, that is a absolutely delicious dinner. Can you see that? Do I want to eat this? Absolutely. I'm going to eat this in a minute, not just now. But so that was just made. Hopefully you get the idea. So remember, when you're doing a recipe, first of all, think about what sides you want to have. So cauliflower rice and my little pickle salad. Okay. And then when you start to build your main dish, you want to kick off with those base aromats, Indian, ginger, garlic, onion, chili. Western, carrots, celery, onion. So you want some of that.
Give me a spoon, please. Thank you.
So yeah, and then once you've done that, you've sorted them. Give them time to release their beautiful flavour. and thank you for leaving that.
I know cauliflower is cooking more.
I know, it's because I cut down on the time. Sorry. But yeah, and then once you've done that, you're then going to add into that your pastes, you know, or it could be spices, the dry spices or a paste. Then you're going to add in your liquid, and then you're going to start to build up with your proteins, etc., and things like that. So not hard to create your own recipes. I might put this cauliflower back in because it only had 8 minutes. It probably needs a good 12 minutes at least. And we will enjoy this for our dinner. Thanks everyone. I hope you picked up a few hits. I'll get that parsley oil out for you. Remember, no matter where you are in Australia, you can be part of my community. If you are after a TM7, please reach out. It doesn't matter if you're in Perth or in Adelaide, you know, I can look after you. You can join my community and have fun with us with your TM7s. My name's Collette Mitrega from thermikitchen.com. You'll find lots more information on my blog and recipes, so go check that out, and I will see you again real soon. Andrew, say thank you.
Thank you.
And say goodbye.
Bye.
And Andrew's just whispering here because I always forget. Remember guys, the one way that you can give back to the effort that I'm doing here is please hit that share button. I cannot tell you what a difference it makes. Seriously, the more shares, the more people will get to see this, and that helps my business. So it's one way of saying, hey Collette, thank you. Share. Love it. Thanks guys. Bye for now.